anyway, good afternoon, parents and students. Welcome to the 4th annual Newmarket International Festival of One and Place. And today is the matinee, which should be fabulous. I know you'll enjoy it. My name is Paul. I'm the president of the Very Useful Theatre Company of Newmarket, and we're the producers of the Festival of One and Place. But you know, something like this doesn't just happen. It's a year, maybe 2 years in making. We have to go through 110 scripts, plays from all over the world, read by readers, and we narrow them down to the best that we think are the best and the most entertaining. And we narrow it down to 8. Our production is not paid for people. Most of us are all volunteers. Our board of directors are volunteers, the actors, the directors, the stagehands, all volunteers. They're doing this for the love of theater, and that's why they're here today. And I think they need it. Our actors have come for these 3 productions from Ottawa, Orangeville, Sault Ste. Marie, St. Catharines, just to be able to play here today. Our tickets are sold by Snap, and we want to thank Snap because they keep track of all our tickets, how many we sold, because we're only allowed 84 people in the room. So we have to be very careful not to exceed that number. So thank you to Snap. The flowers you see were donated by a local flower shop. Blooming Wellies, right here on Main Street. We want to thank them for donating the flowers. Mary Rose Delaney. Mary, are you here today? Mary Rose Delaney is the director. She's one of our directors of the play. She'll be here tonight. And she actually sponsored our screaming guy, Sonny. Sonny, you want to give us away? He's the guy that makes sure it goes on Facebook so the people that can't make it can watch us. And I can't believe the hundreds of people that are watching the show as it goes on. You might wonder, okay, I paid my money, where does the money go? Well, the Very Useful Theatre Company is a charity. We do this to raise money. We raise it to donate to other charities. So half of the profits of this production will go to the Newmarket Food Pantry. That's where it'll go. The other half will stay with the Newmarket Theatre so that we can do bigger and better things for the following year. The other money comes from sponsors, because it's great to be able to sell tickets, but you don't make a lot of money selling a few tickets, so we have to get sponsors to sponsor the event. And if you look at the back of your program, you'll see today, the matinee was sponsored by the Rotary Club of Newmarket. They paid a few bucks to have their name printed on the playbill and for me to talk about it today. Is there anybody here from the Rotary Club? It's just me. I'm a former Rotarian, but it's a good club. They do a lot of youth work. They do a lot of fundraising for the local community, and it's something you might want to look into at a later date. So once again, I'm not going to stay on it too long. You're wondering, I'm going to look at my Fitbit watches. They're great watches. Anybody have a Fitbit? Do you have a spare battery? Because right now mine's dead. I don't even know what time it is, but I know it's time for me to get off and get on with the show. So people, enjoy the show today. Thank you.
The sound of these tall, rattling noises from these tall old trees sounds like the soft music of heaven. Could this be the spot I've been searching for all these long hours? Great Spirit of Fairy Lake Forest, are you here? Perhaps if I whistle, maybe she'll hear me. But I can't whistle, though.
Who is resting on my stone in Fairy Lake Forest?
That voice! Where is that voice coming from?
Don't be scared. It is I, the great spirit of Fairy Lake Forest.
I'm just a poor man from the nearby village of Snowball Corner seeking the great spirit of this forest. And now it looks like I have found you.
And what business do you have with the spirit of Fairy Lake Forest? I am quite busy, you know.
I know that you are the spirit keeper of all these forests. I know that your sister is the spirit keeper of the meadows and your brother is the keeper of the lakes and the rivers. And I know that your very powerful mother, Mother Nature, has granted you all your wondrous powers. And I beg that you ask your mother to do a favor for me.
And what would that favor be?
My wife is with a child. And both my wife and I are desperately hoping for a little girl. We already have a little boy named Hans. And we are asking that Mother Nature uses her wondrous powers to grant our wish for a little girl.
What can you give Mother Nature in return?
My wife and I are poor. We don't have much to offer you. However, our wish is so heartfelt that we will give you whatever you desire. My wife is expecting any day now.
Mother Nature has agreed to grant your wish, but in return your daughter will one day have to return to the forest. Do you agree to this?
We agree. We agree.
Go home now. Your wife has just given birth to a little girl.
Thank you. Thank you, Great Spirit of Fairy Lake Forest.
Wait.
Yes, Great Spirit.
Mother Nature has one further stipulation.
What is the final stipulation?
That this girl child shall be called Gilda. Do you agree?
Yes, of course. What a beautiful name. I must hurry home now. Please accept my humble thanks. Thank you, Great Spirit, and don't forget to thank Mother Nature. Woohoo!
Watching Gilda play with the Forest Elves is one of my great pleasures. Of course, none of the adults in the audience can see my elves, but all you young children can, because you're special, like Gilda. After 16 years, Gilda has grown into a stunning young woman. Don't you agree? This is the great spirit of Fairy Lake Forest welcoming all you young children to our story tonight. Isn't it nice to see young Gilda in the forest with some of my elves? Let's join Gilda and her little invisible friends now, but not invisible to you, my dear children.
Oh, my precious elf friends, it is so wonderful to see you again. I've been spending too much time with my studies at Urquhart High School and not enough time in the forest. I've missed you all so very much.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. We've missed you too, our precious Gilda. You have been away from us much too long. It's so good to spend time with you again. We thought maybe you got stuck in all the construction on Young Street.
It was last year that Young Street was under construction. Shamus, Simone, and Rufus. Were you elves born under a rock?
Well, as a matter of fact, Kettlefuzzer, we were. But isn't it just great that Gilda's back in the forest?
Yes, it's just truly wonderful. I think it's time for a song. Why don't you children join in?
be very near, keeping a close eye on you. They can't see us, but we'll be watching you.
Yes, take care of yourself. Right here, Gilda.
My, what a beautiful carriage. I've never seen anything like it before. I wonder who it belongs to. A foot soldier? It must be someone important.
I demand you stop this carriage at once. I want to speak with this pretty young girl.
Girl, the lady in the carriage wants to speak to you.
To me?
Yes, you. Follow me.
What is your name, girl?
Gilda, lady.
And where do you live, Gilda? I've never seen you in this part of the forest before, or on this road.
I live on the other side of the forest, in a little village named Snowball's Corners. I've never been to this part of the forest before.
Do you know who I am?
No, milady.
Oh, I am the queen of this land. You are quite a beautiful young girl. Would you mind stepping into my carriage? I won't hurt you in any way. I only have the best intentions for you. Let me take you to your family and save you the long walk home. That way we have a chance to talk some more.
I don't know. I've always been told not to accept rides from strangers.
Oh, but you're perfectly safe with me. I'd only want a chance to get to know you better.
Well, it is a long way home, and this is the queen of the land after all. I still don't know what to do. Oh, I know. I'll ask the royal foot soldier if he thinks it's okay.
It's quite all right, my young thing. This is the queen of the land. She's an honorable woman. No harm will befall you. Sure, she has your best interests in mind. She has your best interests in mind for all her subjects. I'm sure you'll be quite safe.
I've never seen anything like this carriage before. It's filled with silk and satin fabric with large soft pillows which carpet on the walls and floor. And it's covered in gold and diamonds.
This is quite interesting. What do you think, Elf Simone?
This surprising development is important. We must keep a close eye on Gilda. Too bad we don't have any of those flying drones with the York Regional Police. What do you think, Elf Seamus?
I feel Gilda may be in for a major change. Did anyone recognize the grand lady in the carriage? What do you think, Elfrida?
Yes, I recognized her from my travels last summer. She's definitely the queen of this land and quite powerful. If that's the case, then we definitely must keep a close eye on our precious Gilda. Isn't that right, Hedelfweiser?
Yes, I agree. We must keep an eye on Gilda. I wonder why the queen has taken such an interest in her. Let's go see what we can find out, but I'm starved. Before we tackle this, let's get some of those award-winning butter tarts at the maid's cottage.
Agreed! It's off for butter tarts! Come on!
Welcome to our humble village. Who might you be, my lady?
I am the queen and ruler of this land, and you may address me as your majesty.
Our queen. What can I and my humble family possibly do for you? What business could you possibly have with people like us? We are nothing but simple folk around these areas. Just simple peasant farmers.
Well, I came upon your daughter in Fairy Lake Forest, and in our long carriage ride here, I had a delightful chat with her. She told me all about herself, her childhood, her family, her upbringing, and her ambitions. I've taken an interest in your daughter and have developed a liking for her. I feel that she is quite suitable for what I have in mind.
Well, that is well and good, but what is it that you say you have on your mind?
I will ask that you let me take your daughter to my castle, where I will look after her education, while also providing her the proper upbringing suitable to a royal person. I, in other words, would like to adopt your daughter as my very own child. But here are the terms. For the next 10 years, you will have no contact with Gilda. You will neither speak nor meet with her. If you agree, you will travel with Gilda to my castle in Stonehaven within 4 days. And when Gilda arrives, I will make her a princess.
This is all quite sudden. What if we don't accept?
If you do not agree, I will leave and you'll never see me again. These are my terms.
Your Majesty, we will discuss this offer with our daughter Gilda. This is quite the turn of events. We must discuss an offer of this magnitude together as a family. After all, it concerns our entire future. We are a day away from Stonehaven, however, so if we agree to your terms, we will set out for the castle in 2 days and deliver Gilda to the castle gates.
I would have been very saddened if you did not include the opinions of your daughter and your whole family in mind. By all means, talk it over. I am off, but I will be at the castle if you so decide to take me up on my opportunity to adopt Gilda.
Thank you, Your Majesty. Now, I believe this is an opportunity you cannot pass up. But this is something we all must discuss much more further. Oh, but this is quite the development, much like all the building going on in Sharon.
Gilda, as your loving brother, I promise I will keep an eye on you, and no one will be alarmed to harm you if you choose to become a princess. I'll get a job as head hunter and archer. That way I'll be able to keep a close eye on you. And only you, I, mother, and father will know.
I thank you, Mother and Father, for always thinking about what would be best for Amy, and for always being there for me. Although I am a bit frightened, I do believe I should take this opportunity and see where it leads. My future is very important to me. To my brother, I thank you for always being there as my protector. Mother and Father, I'll miss you greatly.
Very well, Gilda. It seems you've made up your mind. I believe you'll get a far better education as a princess than I could ever afford. You may even get to go to Seneca College. We will set out for the castle tomorrow as a family. And we will all shed a tear at the gates, my dear Gilda. But before we set out for Stonehaven, take this lucky brooch, my dear daughter. Keep it with you at all times. It'll bring you oh so much luck.
Oh, Father, it's beautiful. Thank you so much. I'll keep it with me at all times.
It belonged to your grandmother. She was a maid at the castle for many years. Through the brooch, a part of us will always be there with you. We won't be able to see you for at least 10 years. We want you to have a family heirloom to remember us by.
After tomorrow, I'll be starting a new chapter in my life, one that will be very, very fulfilling and exciting. I thank you again.
At ease.
My lord and lady, may I be so forward as to introduce you to this beautiful young woman. She says her name is Gilda and has been sought after by you, our queen, to become princess of this fair land. Now, that's her story anyways, however unbelievable it sounds to us. It really sounds like a fairy tale to me, much like the movie Frozen.
Your Majesty, I've been on the road for the past 2 days, and I'm quite worried, but also quite excited. My family and I have agreed to your terms. They are allowing me to become the royal princess of Stonehaven. I accept wholeheartedly and welcome the opportunity.
My dear king, I welcome this young girl Gilda into our castle, and I thought it would please you to adopt her as our very own princess, as we've never been able to have children of our own. And without a child, we'd have no heir to the throne.
You are wonderful, my queen. We now have a child of our own. If you trust her to take on over this kingdom when we are gone from this world, I trust she is someone of great character. I've been getting so tired lately, so very tired. I really need the spa treatment at the Briars for sure. God bless you, my queen. God bless the new Princess Gilda.
I thank you, my king and queen. I will do everything in my power to make me worthy as your choice as your princess. I will not let you down. From this moment on, I'll work hard to be the perfect princess. This calls for a song.
surely frown. None of them will surely frown. Oh, what a glorious day. Oh, what a glorious day. Yes, it's a wonderful life. Now I won't be filled with strife. We have someone to take over the throne. Now I can finally rest my weary bones. I can finally rest my weary bones. Oh, what a glorious day. We have a new princess, our subjects will have to address. Give them the lowdown, and none of them will surely frown. None of them will surely frown. Oh, what a glorious day. Oh, what a glorious day. Oh, what a glorious day. Oh, what a glorious day.
Loyal servants and Hans, our new headhunter and archer. It is with great pleasure that I introduce to you this beautiful girl as the King and Queen's new adopted daughter. As such, you will treat her as royalty and address her as Princess Gilda. Do you understand me?
We are all very happy for King and Queen. This is most splendid.
I feel this Gilda will be a wonderful addition to this magnificent kingdom. 3 cheers for Princess Gilda!
3 cheers for Princess Gilda. Hurrah, hurrah, hurrah!
Oh, Princess Gilda, this is my brother, Poul, and his son. Denny. Poul thinks Denny will be king when I am gone, but quite frankly, Poul, I'm not going anywhere anytime soon, especially with open construction on Leslie Street.
Brother of mine, what is this I hear about you having an adopted daughter? Is that wise for you to do so at your age? You should be thinking about retirement soon in your old age, not starting a family. My son Denny is ready and willing to step in as king of this kingdom at any time.
I thank you for your concern, brother, but I have many years left in me. Besides, I know Denny would like to invade the neighboring kingdom, and I happen to like my friends, the king and the queen in the north of Georgina. And also, I know Denny would like to raise taxes unmercifully on my citizens, just like the province of Ontario.
Oh, I should have known you two would show up. Let me introduce you to Princess Gilda. Princess Gilda, this is the king's brother, Poul, and his son. Hi, Denny.
My dear child, welcome to the castle. I'm sure you'll be very happy here. Say something, Denny.
Well, welcome, welcome.
Let's go. You're acting like the village idiot. We should have a talk later, you and I, my brother.
Oh, I do like getting back at Poul and Denny.
Yes, thank you so much, Princess Gilda, for our first stop of the day. You're already making yourself at home, my dear.
Real bit sorry for Denny. He was quite nervous. I wonder what was up with him.
I wouldn't feel sorry for my brother or his son. We have very little to do with them, even though they live in this castle. I don't trust my brother, nor do I trust his son.
And it seemed that Denny looked a bit smitten by you, Princess Gilda. Although they're probably both not happy that we found an heir to the throne by adopting a princess.
Yes, you go ahead and laugh. We'll see who gets the last laugh. We'll see. We'll just see.
What a beautiful forest! I simply must let my aunt and uncle know that such a beautiful forest exists. Listen to all the birds singing! And what a glorious sunshine! I simply must get to the nearest town and get some new clothes. Oh, and perhaps some fish and chips. Hopefully they have a good fish and chips joint. I can't dilly-dally!
Now, who was that stranger? Did we see him in the latest Star Wars film?
Yes, Head Elf Weiser. He certainly was a good-looking young man. I wonder where he's headed.
I have a feeling we'll see him again sometime. Maybe on a fish and chip joint. Anyone else feel a little peckish?
Oh, Elf Shamus, must you always fill your face? We must get back to keeping an eye on our beloved Gilda.
It's almost time for our afternoon tea at Starbucks and we can finally get one of those delicious muffins.
I think I'll take a ride through the forest alone. It's been fun looking through the whole castle, getting a feel for things, but I've been cooped up for too long. I need to get out on my own for a while, away from that Denny. I wish he'd stop following me around so often, but he just doesn't listen. One day, I'll just have to tell him firmly he has to stop following me around. I'm certainly not looking forward to that talk. Denny has such a temper, and sometimes he's outright mean.
My princess, we are going to accompany you on your ride this fine day, if you don't mind.
You don't mind, do you?
This servant will accompany us in case we need anything. Unfortunately, it looked like it rained last night, and the ground is quite muddy, but we should be all right.
Ah! Johnny crossing the dogs! Drag it all! Drag it all! Stop hurting those animals at once, Denny. I cannot forgive you for kicking that poor horse or hitting the dogs. You are not to come visit me anymore until I've learned how to treat animals better and clean up your face. Please stay away from me from now on.
So be it, princess. You do not want me, then no one shall have you. I will see to that.
Oh, my elves, there you are.
Did you want something, Great Spirit of Fairy Lake Forest?
Yes, keep a keen eye on Princess Gilda. We cannot let trouble befall her. News of Denny's unfortunate fall from his horse has spread around the castle like wildfire, and he's humiliated. He blames poor Gilda. As elves, you cannot be seen or heard, and that makes you the perfect agents. I want one of you at the castle at all times, just to keep an eye on Princess Gilda. I have also noticed that her brother Hans has become head hunter and archer for the king, and he too is keeping an eye on Princess Gilda, but from a distance. The elf that is placed inside the castle must also watch the king's brother Poul and his son Denny. Denny has much affection for the Princess Gilda, but feels that he has been slighted. He and his father are not to be trusted. I must go, but if you need me, just whistle into the winds of the forest.
As the Great Spirit says, we must keep an eye on Princess Gilda. We will take rotating shifts with one of us watching Princess Gilda in the castle. We must not let the Great Spirit of Fairy Lake Forest down. Remember last time we did that? The Leafs never made it past the first round of the playoffs. Oh, and we must also keep an eye on the king's brother Ol and his son Denny, who at the best of times has a rather bad temper. Who wants to be first? Elf Simone?
Yes, I will. Yes, we must protect Princess Gilda at all costs. Yes, I want to take the first ship inside the castle. What do you think, Elder Seamus?
We must watch over her like the 680 News helicopter watches the local traffic.
Very well. Elf Simone will go first, and Elves Rufus and Seamus. We must not let the great spirit of Fairy Lake Forest down, or our precious Gilda.
It's so good to be out of the castle and back in the forest with my favorite animals and beautiful majestic trees. I hope they don't worry about my whereabouts back in the castle, but I need to get out of my own for a while. But that bothersome Denny follows me everywhere. I do hope he got the message last week after that writing incident. He looked so funny with all that mud on his face. Didn't he, children?
That Princess Gilda, I wanted her since the day I set eyes on her. And now she says she has nothing to do with me. Ha! She scorned my affections. I'll show her, and I'll show my father how the devious plans can be stepped up and mighty stepped. I know I'll kidnap Princess Gilda and convince my dad to tell his brother, the king, that it was simply done by the neighboring king and his army. I am simply brilliant. This will fit into his plan so well. I'll show this Princess Gilda she can't spare my deepest recompenses that easily.
Okay, I don't have a mic, so I can speak up a bit. Can you hear me? Yeah. You know, when I was up here the first time, I was thinking, this is a 2-act show, so there's going to be a 15-minute intermission. So we'll wait while they do that. But I also heard that our playwright, the guy who put this show together, Rod Urquhart, is here with us tonight. Rod, can you raise your hand? Raise your hand. Go say hi to Rod and tell how much you like the show. And this play was based on a book written by a local Newmarket guy, Poul. Poul, are you here today? I try to remember my address, and I can't understand how these kids can remember all those lines. But I make it up, right? But they have to read it. And lastly, the director of the show, Kira Rosenbloom, she'll be here with us tonight, so you make sure, today, this afternoon, make sure you say hello to her. Okay? After the next scene, there's going to be some presentations, so don't be quick to leave. Stay for the presentation after the next scene, okay? Meanwhile, let's have a 15-minute break. We'll see you in 15 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, just a reminder, there is no recording allowed in the auditorium. No recording.
Another beautiful forest. This one reminds me of my own kingdom. Although, we have a lot more water. After all these months of travel, it's getting hard to remember my own kingdom. I hope my aunt and uncle aren't worrying about me. Oh, how I miss them! My, what beautiful flowers! I wonder who could have picked them. Princess Gilda? She must be the princess of this land. Maybe she forgot it here, or maybe it dropped out of her carriage when she was coming and she doesn't know where it is. I know! I will rush to the castle and return it to her immediately. Maybe they'll be so happy to see its return, they'll give me something to eat. I haven't eaten anything in days. My hunger is so big, I could eat a McHappy Meal. I must be off at once.
What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Princess Gilda has just been kidnapped by that dastardly Denny. Oh, worry me. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? We must save her. Right, Hello Flizer?
Breathe. Yes, we must help. This is so distressing. First, we must find out where they're keeping the princess. Then we will come up with a plan to rescue her. All of you spread out all over the castle and search for the princess. I will head deep into the forest to speak with the Great Spirit and see if she can help. I've been around for 200 years, but I think she's been around for longer. I think as long as Ray Twin was mayor. And I'm sure she'll know where the princess is. The Great Spirit of Fairy Lake Forest is the daughter of Mother Nature, who is all-powerful and all-knowledgeable.
Yes, I agree. We must reach the castle. But I fear Princess Gilda may have been taken somewhere deep inside the forest. What do you think, Alfred?
I think Hannah Fizer's idea to consult the Great Spirit will be a big help. We must also search far and wide, even wider than Fairy Lake.
That dastardly Denny. Let's get all the elves and Denny.
Push up.
Now.
So, we must tie him up.
More.
It's a crime what he has done.
Pick it up.
And it's not like we can shun.
Okay. Run.
We
Back and
before
forth.
the princess.
Faster.
There's no time for worries that Denny is just lost to no good. That must be understood. We must walk high and low, and let's hope that it doesn't come true. Let's call the Great Spirit. After all, she's yours. We find where Gilda's taken. We know the plan Denny's making. It's a crime
Nobody's seen the princess for hours and hours. And the kingdoms look everywhere with no sign of her. My queen, I'm getting quite nervous. Oh, maybe I've had too much timmies from coffee and oh, what are we gonna do? We must do something at once!
I know, my king. I too am quite worried. The only thing I can think of is that we make up posters and distribute them around the kingdom, offering a reward. But for how much?
No. I know. To whoever returns the princess, I will give them $20,000 Canadian Tire money, which is about how much Mayor Taylor makes in a week. So, should be enough money to generate a lot of interest.
Now assign the press secretary to draw up as many posters as they can.
Yes, my dear. But remember, she must draw them all up by hand. This is a long time ago. We don't have any printers or computers. We don't even have an Xbox.
King and Queen of Newmarket, my name is Poul. I am a stranger and a traveler to your lands, and I've been traveling many kingdoms for many months, and I recently arrived at yours. Sitting beside this big rock, I found this, emblazoned with Princess Gilda. I assume she's a princess in your kingdom and wanted to return it to her. I was hoping that she just forgot it here.
Nobody's seen the princess for hours and hours. Where did you find the basket again? In the forest. Which part of Fair Lake Forest?
Yes, my fine young man, please tell us where you found our beloved Princess Gilda's basket. We've been so very worried.
I found it in a large forest, as I said. I believe it was Fairy Lake Forest. It was sitting beside a big, large rock, and I could still smell a mild perfume that was smelled from around a mile away. It was a beautiful scent, not like one that you'd find in Hamilton.
Oh my, the princess has disappeared. She never goes anywhere without her basket. Oh, what will we do, my queen? Oh, what are we going to do?
Easy, easy, my king. This is a conundrum, but we must not lose our heads. Keep on track, my king, much like the trains that run through this town. I suggest you summon Hans, the kingdom's head hunter and archer, and get him to search Fairy Lake Forest with his men at once. Hans knows the forest better than anyone.
Yes, I summon Hans!
What can I do for you, my king and your majesties? I've heard through the era that the princess is missing. Do you know where she could have gone to? Do you have any clues? My men and I are here to help. Everyone in the kingdom was quite concerned. I just came back from the sociable pub, and everyone is abuzz about the missing princess. Something must be done in haste. We must find Princess Gilda.
Hans, grab your men and search everywhere in the forest. No tree unturned and no rock uprooted. Search everywhere until you find Princess Gilda. And remember, there's a $20,000 Canadian Tire money prize for whoever returns Princess Gilda. And this applies to you as well.
Yes, Hans, please begin the hunt for the princess at once. Her safe return is in your hands.
My men and I will be off at once, your majesties.
Denny, your actions are not going to go unpunished. When the king finds out you kidnapped me, throw both you and your father in prison, throw away the key. And it'll be a time to you'll brought like 2 tomatoes from the vine, and all the fresh produce at Vincent's. Release me at once, you scoundrels!
Quiet down, my sweet little ticket to success. There is no way in this wide world we let you go back to that miserable king brother of mine. Why, he's probably counting his Canadian Tire money, not even worried you're gone. He probably doesn't even know you're missing. But he soon will.
Yes, keep quiet. You dared to spurn my affections, and now you must pay. You fit very nicely into our plans to invade the kingdom with our soldiers, then overthrow the king and banish him out to the sea in Lake Simcoe, to be gone forever!
Now, to make sure your little adopted father knows that something is amiss, we must show him something of yours to prove we know where you are. My dear princess, now what do you have that we can take? Reach in and grab the brooch from around her neck. We'll put it in a bag and take it to the king. That way, we know how to prove to the king that we know where the princess is. Then, when his large army leaves for the neighboring kingdom, we'll attack, and I'll finally be able to put you on the throne you so rightfully deserve. Agreed, my son?
Oh, how dare you Denny.
There, I have it, Father. Now you can do this, King, and our plans will be complete. Sweet!
You're a genius, Denny. A bloody genius. Oh, I just love it when a plan comes together.
Oh, this waiting is killing me.
I have some great news, brother of mine. I know who has the princess. I know you two have been quite worried.
You know where Princess Gilda is? Tell us at once.
Once we say. We have posters all around the whole kingdom.
The whole kingdom's been looking for her.
Even in Cedar Valley, we've been so worried.
My spies tell me that the king in Georgina has kidnapped her. He wants to rule over your kingdom as well. He did say he was jealous because you have way more McDonald's in your kingdom than he has in his.
I can't believe it. No, I can't believe it. The king and I are old friends. He and his queen come visit often, and we play bridge at the senior center quite often. And we share pop at the Cache restaurant. Not to mention Chinese food at the Four Seasons.
He was your friend, brother of mine. I have definite proof of this. This brooch was being worn by the princess when she disappeared. My spies smuggled it out of the princess's cell in the neighboring king and queen's castle.
This indeed is the princess's. She wears it all the time. I find it hard to believe that my friend would do such a thing, but my queen, here's the proof. We must do something. We must invade the neighboring kingdom and rescue Princess Gilda.
Yes, we must attack at once. King Darling, summon the generals of your armies and get them to start marching for the neighboring kingdom at once. We have not a moment to lose, not a moment to lose.
Yes, I'll inform my generals to begin the march and go and rescue Princess Gilda.
Oh, I'm just so smart. What a plan I have made. I'm just so proud of myself. My son Denny is ready to step in as king of this kingdom, and the first thing he'll do is raise everyone's taxes, just like Catherine Wynne did. Now, I must return to my encampment at the Holland River.
It has been days since I found out that the princess was missing, and I found her basket. But the king has offered a great reward for her return, and therefore I must keep running. I must find Princess Gilda before trouble befalls her. But where, oh where could she have gotten to?
Okay, man, we must find Princess Gilda. She's somewhere in this forest according to the king. We must search high and low for her, leaving no tree unturned, much like the Emerald Ash Forest. Let's head over to the Holland River area. Let's be off, men.
We've had no luck finding the princess. We must seek help from the Great Spirit. We must also send word to all our friends and families, all the elves everywhere, to look for our princess.
The Great Spirit of Fairy Lake Forest will help us find the princess. Right, Head Elfweiser?
O great spirit of the forest, we are the elves that live in this great forest, and we need your guidance. We simply don't know where Princess Gilda is. We are so very, very worried.
Why has the old wise leader of the elves come asking for the great spirit of Fairy Lake Forest's help once again?
We've been looking for Princess Gilda. Remember the girl child you and Mother Nature brought into this world? We simply don't know where she is. We know that the dastardly Denny kidnapped her, but that's all we know. We don't know where he's holding her captive.
I remember. I also know what happened to her and where she is. My brother, the keeper of the lakes and rivers, has told me that there is a big military camp by the Holland River flying the king's banner, but it isn't the king's army. And she's being held in a small hut against her will. Now go and rescue her. Godspeed be with you all.
I thank you, great spirit of the forest of Fairy Lake. Now we must be off to the Holland River to find our beloved princess.
Yes, we must be off at once. What about taking a Viva bus? We'll get there quicker.
Who has bus tokens? Anyone? Guys, seriously? Come on, nobody!
Aye.
Seriously?
What are you and your men doing here, Hans?
The princess is missing, and we're just out here to find. We just stopped by to see if any of you or your men have seen or heard anything. Have you?
Us? No, we have not seen or heard anything. No, we know nothing about the princess. If we did, we would have told the king right away. Don't you trust us?
I suppose. Hey, who's in that hut?
I've had enough of this. Arrest them all. They're all spies.
We're not going to be in prison without a fight. We must fight for Princess Gilda, for our king and our queen. God is on our side.
We must help Hans and his men. We are visible to humans, so we can trip up all these evil soldiers in the fight and deflect their swords. No one must get hurt.
Yes! Let's get to work at once! For the princess's sake!
Is that the princess? Whoever that is with all this fighting going on, it's not that good. That must be the princess. But she could get hurt. I must rescue her at once. But how?
Come with me, young stranger. I see your intentions, and they are honorable.
Please, I'm the princess, and everyone has been looking for me. Please take me to the king and queen with the best reward set. I'm sure they will reward you handsomely.
My, I've never seen such a beauty. Come with me immediately. I will take you to the king and queen at once.
Stop this fighting at once. The princess is rescued. We shall head back to the kingdom. Thank God nobody got hurt in all this, except for these two. This is like an old WWF matchup. So I guess it is.
so much for rescuing me. I'm sure my father the king will repay you. What is your name, you handsome young man?
It is Poul, and I am very glad to have been of service to you, my dear princess. You too are quite becoming.
My king, it was your evil brother Ol and his son Denny who had kidnapped the princess all along. It was not the neighboring kingdom at all.
Yes, thank you so much, Paul, for rescuing her. Dear, precious Gilda, we're so relieved. But wait. Oh, no. I just sent an army to invade the neighboring kingdom. We must stop them.
King, write an official declaration to the royal seal, ordering your men to stand down and leave the country, and I will ride all day and night to make sure it gets to your generals. This must be done as soon as possible.
Yes, my son, this will be done. Now, off with you, and Godspeed be with you.
I will take the fastest horse in your royal stead and be off. Wish me luck.
Poul, where will you please take care of yourself?
A few days later.
It's so good to have the Princess Gilda back in the kingdom again.
Yes, it is, and here she comes now.
Hey, King, your generals have just returned. I've spoken with them. They just made it to the southern border of the neighboring kingdom when that young man who rescued me delivered the royal declaration. They are in the castle, safe in their barracks, but the generals did say that after delivering the royal declaration, that young brave man disappeared.
I wonder where he's gotten to. I sure would like to thank him and give him his $20,000 Canadian Tire money reward. Not to mention some food. He must be starving. He needs a good meal from the King George Hotel.
Yeah.
My king, this royal letter was just delivered to the castle by Canada Post. A week and a half late, I might add. I think it might be of interest to you and the queen.
This is great news. It's from the neighboring king and queen of Georgina. The king is going to be coming on an official royal visit. He loves our farmer's market and he wants to go see it. This will be a perfect opportunity for me to apologize for almost invading their kingdom in person. And then we can go play bridge at the senior center. Maybe even some Mexican food at Made in Mexico. Welcome, neighboring king, to our humble kingdom. I want to apologize for almost invading you. My queen and Princess Gilda welcome you. Please make yourself at home. I want to rest assured that peace has returned to our little neck of the woods, and the citizens have already started fishing in Berry Lake again.
Wonderful. I fully accept your apology, of course, and of course, no harm was done. More importantly, the Queen and I look forward to spending an evening with you and the Queen playing bridge, as we always do, and of course, going to the farmer's market tomorrow morning. The best farmer's market in Canada, I might add. Oh, Paul! Now, I hope you all know Paul. This is my nephew. As you know, the Queen and I have no children of our own, and Paul, being my nephew, is the sole heir to my throne.
You're such a bad man. Hang off without telling us where you went or who you are. We couldn't even thank you for good deeds. What bad manners you have.
Don't be embarrassed, Paul. This calls for a massive celebration. I smell a wedding in the air. You know, both our kingdoms are going to be in great hands with two of the greatest leaders in the land, Princess Gilda and Paul. Oh, this is such a wonderful development.
Hello, everyone. It's me, the great spirit of Fairy Lake Forest. Well, as you can see, Poul and the Princess Gilda will soon be married, and the two kingdoms will unite. I have chatted with Mother Nature, and she has agreed to release Gilda from her spell. Gilda will no longer have to return to the forest in her elder years, as she'll be too busy ruling two kingdoms, while also raising a majestic family. That's a lot to ask of anyone. And, oh yes, the king was so impressed with Hans that he made him royal minister of foreign affairs. And he even moved the princess's entire family, including her mother and father, into the castle so they could be one happy family. And the elves of the forest have also gone back to their normal routine of playing gin rummy at the Newmarket Legion. So I guess I can sum this up by saying that this was one happy ending.
Okay, I'm going to speak up. Can you hear me? Anyway, wasn't that great? So we're going to do a small presentation. Small presentation. And I would like to ask, is Daryl in the house? Daryl, are you around? Yeah. Didn't recognize you from the man. Daryl, come on up. He's the guy that organized all our digital stuff. Daryl, come on up stage. Hey, stop. And then we're going to bring up Rod Urquhart, Rod, the playwright, the guy that wrote the play. Come on up, Rod. Say a few words as soon as we get the mic here, but they'll say a few words to make a presentation. Ole, where's Ole Madsen? could you come up? The guy that actually wrote the book, come on up on stage. Is Kira?
We need Kira.
Yeah, we need Kira. I'll go back. Do you want to run back and take Kira? Okay. All right. So while we're waiting for Kira, I want to thank our guy up in the sound studio. His name is Stuart. Stuart, are you there? Say hi to Stuart. So what we're going to do is try and get...
Kira's here, yeah. Come
Where?
on, Kira. Come on,
Kira. Director.
No.
Now we're all here. I'm going to ask Rod to present Kira's flowers and say a few words. Rod, can you do that?
Yeah, if I'll do the flowers first. Oh, Kira, that was just unbelievable.
Nice and loud.
Yeah, this is a small token of what we should give you, but I'm just so honored with what you did with my work and the work you put into it over 4 months, rehearsing, and these children. It's blowing me away, so congratulations. This is also the book by Ola Madsen. Most people in Newmarket surely know Ola Madsen. He wrote this children's book and he asked me to look it over, and I decided after reading it that it would make one heck of a children's play, which is what you saw today. So Ola has given me a copy of his book, which he has signed, and I have written a note into Kira, and this is a keepsake for her. I just wanted to just say again, I talked to the Queen's mother, the Queen up here on stage, her mother, and told me that they've been rehearsing for 4 months. And I don't know if y'all realize it, but really there's only this one presentation scheduled. And to go to that amount of work and to be that successful, it's just a tremendous effort by this director, a 22-year-old.
Hey, you don't give out ages.
Well, I'm going to give John Dowson's too in a minute. I just wanted to say that really, the Very Useful Theater Company, which puts this on, as Paul Bath mentioned, the core of us have been working on this for 2 years, and John Dowson is the main force behind it. John, if you can stand up. He's 82 years old, and
correct. It's never 82 years old. It's 82 years young.
I know, but I have nicknamed him Winston Churchill because he's such a dynamo at his age. And I wanted to make note that Christina Bazant, the counselor for Ward 7, and Bob Quapis, the counselor for Ward 5, bought tickets to this festival, and I wanted to thank them, and especially Mayor John Taylor, who had a cameo in the play. You can tell John has been on stage before. And I also wanted to point out that John purchased and donated 20 children tickets to the performance today, which was a big thing. And I wanted to point out that a counselor from East Gwillimbury, Joe Persiccini's here. Joe, if you could, did he leave? No. All right, he left, sorry. And finally, I just wanted to thank for watching my sister, who has a degree in theater arts from York University, who has inspired me to continue in theater, and she's out in Kelowna watching right now with her family. And again, to all Karen
You can buy DVDs.
We haven't decided
yet. You can buy the presentation, you can live stream by calling the phone number that's on this card. If you have a pen or if you don't, come and get me later, or go on our site to order it. You can order the show. But the phone number, if you have a pen, is 647-291-9205. Anybody remember that? Anyway, if you do want to buy one, come and see me or Daryl or any one of us, and we'll make sure you get one. We'll show you how to buy it, okay? Thanks again for coming, folks. I hope to see some of you tonight. Take care and safe drive home. Bye-bye now. It's unbelievable. Roll it.